بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد قال الله تبارك وتعالى لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. وقال تعالى في شان حبيبه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. أما بعد. This beautiful poetry which is titled Fida Tuj Pe Me Khake Shahr Madina. This is an expression of the feeling of the heart of every mu'min and every believer, that this is the type of sentiments that we should express in Medina. And the meaning of this is that may I be sacrificed upon you, O sand, O soil of the city of Medina. So we find here this beautiful poetry of Arif Billah Hazrat Maulana Shah Ki Muhammad Akhtar Sahab Rahmatullahi Ta'ala Alayhi. Hazrat says that blessed are you, O land of Medina, and congratulations to you, O city of Medina, because you are the city of the Nabi of Allah. You are the city of the Nabi of Allah. Therefore, you are a blessed and you deserve congratulations. You deserve glad tidings, O city of Medina, that you are the city of the Nabi of Allah. When you have within you the leader of both the worlds, then why should you not be the envy of the heavens and the skies, O city of Medina? Medina is the envy of the skies and the heavens. The heavens envy the city of Medina. The whole world is sacrificed upon your green dome. The whole world is sacrificed upon your green dome. It is as if the sky descends to kiss the city of Medina. This is how beautiful the city of Medina is. Oh yeah, take him, play with him outside. Your every particle of your dust, every particle of your dust is a reflection of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, may I be sacrificed upon every particle of dust of Medina. This is the depth of love. And the mountain of Uhud is the place where the blood of the shuhada has dyed it red. This blood of the shuhada is teaching us the lesson of the loyalty of Medina. Allahu Akbar. The blood of the shuhada of the mountain of Uhud is teaching us the lesson of loyalty of Medina. What loyal people they were, that to give their life for the sake of Allah, for the defense of Islam, for the defense of the city of Medina, there was no hesitation. They taught the world the lesson of loyalty and sacrifice. You, O city of Medina, you are a sign of the greatness and the glory of Deenul Islam. And it is through the barakat of the feet of the Sahaba that this city of Medina is that beautiful city that it is. O Akhtar, the loyalty of the Sahaba is what has made the history of the city so glorious and great. It is the loyalty of Sahaba that has made the city of Medina such a great and such a lofty city. So throughout we find that the city of Medina, its whole glorious history is a history of sacrifice. It is a history of hardship, of difficulties, of loyalty, of obedience, of dedication, of devotion. All of these things have gone in to make this history, this glorious history of the city of Medina. It wasn't that it was a bed of roses and Medina just grew on a bed of roses. This city was founded on the blood of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his loyal Sahaba. They gave supreme sacrifices for this city to become the beautiful city that it is. This city that we are enjoying so peacefully today, it was not so peaceful at that time. Great sacrifices were made by Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba Kiram. In fact, I would like to inshallah discuss some aspects of the history of Medina in the light of the Seerah and the biography of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah, in the next few days, we will inshallah hold these programs. Brothers can inform, the sisters can inform the sisters, brothers can inform the brothers, that inshallah we will have the series of talks inshallah after Salatul Asr for a short while. Coming to the glorious history of the city of Medina. There is such a long history that obviously it is not possible to do justice in few sittings. But just to go through some salient aspects of the history of Medina. Alhamdulillah, in the previous years, we did discuss quite a bit of these aspects in some of the programs. But I will just recap some of it, and we will go through some aspects of how, when Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam commenced the journey of Hijrah, there is a long history before the Hijrah itself. How did he choose Medina? Why did he choose Medina? Why he decided to come to Medina? And what was all the factors that led to his arrival in Medina? And what was the conditions that were prevailing in Medina before his arrival? There was a very, very deadly war that took place in Medina. It is known as the War of Bu'as. The War of Bu'as, in which the two primary tribes of Medina, the original tribes of Medina, the Aus and the Khazraj, till today the progeny of these people are living here. Maulana Muhammad, you met some of them. The progeny of the Aus and the Khazraj, these are the people who are the Ansar of Medina. And they were the ones who were the children of two brothers who had come originally from Yemen and settled in Medina after the flood of Yemen, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about in the Quran. You know, the dam of Ma'arib and how that dam burst because of the attitude of ingratitude of the people of Yemen. That dam burst, and that place which was so fertile and verdant and flourishing, it became like a thorny desert area, and the people were compelled to move from there and made hijrat northwards. And these two brothers, Aus and Khazraj, they chose to settle down in Medina. And at that time, the Jews had already come here before them. There's a long history, I did mention that previously. But these are the children of Aus and Khazraj. And they fought a deadly war between themselves. And great leaders amongst them were killed. They were decimated by this war. It was a long war. It finished them off. And now the sensible people amongst them felt that we have had enough of bloodshed and we need to stop this killing. And they used to go for Hajj in the days of Jahiliyyah. All the Arab tribes, they had some remnants of the Hajj of Ibrahim alayhi salam, which is the foundation of our Hajj of today. So they used to go for Hajj, It was distorted, not exactly as Hajj should be done. It was unfortunately idolatry and all was introduced in the process. But they used to still go to Arafat and all of those rites of Hajj. They used to carry out quite a bit of those rites of Hajj. And Mina is where they used to always camp. Till today the same sunnah is alive. So we find that it was in Mina that Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam met many tribes, many people. Year after year he was trying to find some people who would be willing to take his message, because Makkah had rejected completely. He tried Taif had rejected. So he was looking for some other community that would actually embrace his message and his call. And 15 tribes rejected him in that year. That was the 10th year of Nubuwwat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for the people of Medina, 6 people from Khazraj were there, 6. And these were the people who actually took his message to heart. And they were the people who actually accepted Islam at his hand in Mina. And they are the ones who invited him to Medina. And then came the next year when 12 people came. According to the narrations, 10 were from Khazraj and 2 were from Aus, the year that came after that. And they took bay'at on the hand of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was known as Bay'atul Aqabatul Ula, the first bay'at of Aqaba. And then came the next year, and this time 73 people came. And out of the 73, 71 were males and 2 were females. And the names of those females are also recorded in history. It's a lengthy story. I don't want to go into too much of depth and detail. But that is how Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the second bay'ah took place, and they pledged that they will support him. And in the meantime, they asked for somebody to come and teach them Islam. And Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu. 1 year he spent here. How he spent that 1 year and what experiences he had, that is another chapter of history. But in that year, alhamdulillah, most of Medina had accepted Islam already. And that is why we find 73 people came the following year. And that is when the command came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for hijrat. And Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent the Sahaba, and the Muhajirin left Makkah in secrecy, in stealth. They started going. Only person who made hijrat very boldly and openly was Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. As he announced at the top of his voice, he said, I am leaving and I'm making hijrat. If anybody wants his mother to cry over his dead body, come and challenge me and try to stop me from going for hijrat. Nobody dared to challenge Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was that ashadduhum fi amrillahi Umar, that strong leader, that he made hijrat very openly. Others went stealthily. And then the history of the hijrat of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a very, very deep and glorious chapter in the history of Islam. That how Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the difficulties he underwent, and how he strategized in making the hijrat, and how this whole journey of hijrat, which started on the 27th of Safar, the month of Safar, 27th of Safar, he started the journey of hijrat. And he arrived in Kuba. After taking a roundabout route to Medina, he arrived in Kuba on the 8th of Rabiul Awwal. He arrived in Kuba on the 8th of Rabiul Awwal. And that was that moment of arrival in Medina that the historians speak about, those little girls who were singing Tala al-Badru alayna min thaniyatil wada'i wajaba shukru alayna ma da'a lillahi da'i. All of that took place at that moment of his arrival, because the people of Medina had already received news of his arrival. And there was great joy and happiness and excitement in the city of Medina. Every day, without fail, people would come out and wait on the outskirts of Medina for the arrival of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam till midday. When they saw he didn't come, they would go back disappointed and sad. And till that day came when Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived. Obviously, the first point of this embarking was the place called Quba, which was on the outskirts of Medina. It's a suburb of Medina today. At that time, it was a little locality independent of Medina. But in the boundaries of Medina, Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived there in Quba, and the news spread like wildfire. By then it was already midday, so the people had gone back, but they rushed back to come to receive him. And Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed in Quba. According to some narrations, he stayed for 4 days in Quba. And some narrations say he stayed up to 2 weeks in Quba. If he stayed 4 days in Quba, then it means that he arrived in Medina on 12th of Rabiul Awwal. So the birth was on 12th of Rabiul Awwal, arrival in Medina was 12th of Rabiul Awwal, and his demise was definitely on 12th of Rabiul Awwal. Nevertheless, Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to Quba, whether he stayed 4 days or 15 days, but in that time, immediately he set about work. Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam's whole life was about effort, struggle, dedication, devotion, and working and building and progressing the cause of Islam and the Ummah. Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam never sat back. There was no rest. La rahata ba'da al-yawm. He made the declaration that there's no rest after this day. After Allah Ta'ala gave him the task and duty of nubuwwat, then he said, La rahata ba'da al-yawm. After today there's no rest. Now it is continuous hard work and effort. And we see that his whole life, there was no rest in the sense of, taking it easy and there's no question of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam having a holiday or a vacation. His whole life was, especially from the time of nubuwwat, was constantly working and striving and struggling and sacrificing for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we find that Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in Quba, and immediately the intention was announced for the establishment of a masjid, and the first masjid of Islam was built in Quba, and that masjid which we visit on Saturday mornings, Masjid Quba, that is the masjid that Allah Rabbul Izzat has praised in the Holy Quran. La masjidun ussisa ala taqwa min awwali yawmin ahaqqu an taquma fi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to that masjid as the masjid that was established on the foundation of taqwa. So the first masjid taqwa in Islam is the masjid of Quba. That is the real masjid taqwa, because Allah has declared it to be masjid taqwa. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam led salah there in those beginning days. And fi rijalu yuhibbuna an yatatahharu wallahu yuhibbul mutahhirin. Allah praised the musallis of that masjid. Allahu Akbar. What kind of musallis they must have been, that Allah Rabbul Izzat on high praised these musallis of Masjidul Taqwa, Masjid Quba. And these were those people who were very, very particular about the matter of taharat and cleanliness, that even after they relieved themselves, they would use not only just pebbles, which was in place of what we would call tissue paper today, but they even used water to make istinja. And that was that additional, importance they attached to taharat that Allah Rabbul Izzat had praised them in the Holy Quran. Nevertheless, Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed with Bani Amr bin Auf in Quba, who were family of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were related to Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We may not have maybe taken note of this somewhere. We may have heard, or we may have not heard, or we may have noted or have not noted. But the maternal family of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from Medina. And not only his own mother, Sayyidah Amina, but even his grandmother, the mother of the mother of Abdul Muttalib, that is his great grandmother, was also from Medina. She was also from Medina, and his own mother was also from Medina. In other words, her family emanated from Medina. They were the Banu Najjar tribe from the Khazraj. The Khazraj were related to Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, Abdullah, the father of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to some narrations, passed away in Medina. He passed away in Madinah Shareef. When he was returning from the trade mission from Syria, and his return journey in his very young age, he passed away in Medina. And Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother came to Medina when he was 6 years of age to visit her family. She came to visit her family, and on her return to Makkah at a place called Abwa, which is between Makkah and Medina on the Badr road, at a place called Abwa, that is where she passed away. And at that time, Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the tender age of 6, the only person present there himself, and the lady who was like a guardian to him and taking care of him, the lady by the name of Ayman radiyallahu ta'ala anha. These were the two people present at the time of the demise of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother. And imagine the little child of 6 years placed his own mother in the qabr at that tender age, himself and Ayman. They had to dig the grave virtually, and they had to place her in the grave because there was nobody else present at that time. Right. So that happened at Abwa. So Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam had ties of family and relations in Medina, and he stayed with them when he arrived in Quba. And then he sent a message to the relatives of Medina who are known as the Banu Najjar. And he sent message that they must come and fetch him. And they came, and they came with great fanfare to Quba to receive Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to escort him into Medina. They were fully armed. It was like a guard of honor. Guard of honor, and they led Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam into Medina. And according to the narrations, when they were leading him into Medina, it was a Friday. And so on the way, they stopped at a place that was of the tribe of Banu Salim. Banu Salim lived very close to Quba, a stone's throw from Quba, and that is the place where Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam read the first Jumu'ah. He read, before that they were reading Jumu'ah in Medina. Jumu'ah was being performed in Medina even before Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived. But he led the first Jumu'ah in Medina, and at the place that is called Masjidul Jumu'ah. And Masjidul Jumu'ah is, brothers who came with for ziyarat this morning, we passed Masjidul Jumu'ah before we went to Masjidul Quba. So it's just a stone's throw away from Masjid Quba, and Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam read the Jummah Salah at that place of the tribe of Banu Salim. He read the Salatul Jumu'ah there, and then he was escorted by Banu Najjar, his relatives, into Medina. And there was a huge crowd, and there was great joy and excitement. And Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu says that such a light lit up Medina, and so much of nur was felt that never before was such a light seen in Medina as at the moment of his arrival. Just as it became dark after his demise, like that Medina was lit up on the moment of his arrival. And everybody was desirous to host Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the tribes and all the leaders of all the homes and households, everybody came rushing. Each one is begging and pleading, "O Nabi of Allah, you be our guest, you be our mehman, you stay with us, you stay with us, stay with us, stay with us." The hospitality of Ansar was proverbial. And obviously, if Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to make the decision to stay with someone, then it would have broken the hearts of other people. So what a wise tactic or method he used to keep the hearts of everyone and not to break anybody's heart. He said, "This camel of mine, innaha ma'muratun. It has been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to go and settle and stop at a certain place. Leave the camel to go where Allah has commanded it to go. It is instructed and commanded by Allah. I am not even leading it. I got no control over where it is going to go and stop. I am not even in charge or control of this camel to make it stop at a certain place. Innaha ma'muratun. It has been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to stop wherever it has to stop." So look at the hikmat and the wisdom of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Throughout his life, ajib, amazing incidents of hikmat and wisdom. Every step of his life was so much of hikmat and wisdom. May Allah Ta'ala give me tawfiq. I have made an intention that I want to write a little booklet on the aspect of the hikmat and the wisdom of Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in various situations in life. We look even at the situation when the time of when the Kaaba was damaged and they had to rebuild the Kaaba, the Quraysh, and the time came to put the Hajr Aswad in place. And now Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was the first person who walked. They said, because it almost led to bloodshed. Who's going to put? Everyone says, I'm going to put the Hajr Aswad. I want the honor. I want it to be recorded in history that I put the Hajr Aswad. They said, look, if we're going to carry on like this, there'll be bloodshed over the Kaaba. So they said, tomorrow morning, the first person that enters here, he will be the one who will be given the honor of putting or he will decide. He will decide on the matter that who is to put the Hajr Aswad in place. And it so happened that Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam walked into the Haram that morning, the first person. And so they said, who could be a better person than him? Because all regarded him as As-Sadiq Al-Amin. If we see Mihrab Usman radiallahu ta'ala in Masjid Nabawi Shareef, we'll see there's two beautiful green little signs of green boards next to the Mihrab Usmani. And on one side it is written, La ilaha illallahul malikul haqqul mubin. La ilaha illallahul malikul haqqul mubin. The word Allah is written on top, and then this after that, La ilaha illallahul malikul haqqul mubin. And the other side, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is written, Muhammad Rasulullah Sadiqul Wa'dil Amin. As-Sadiqul Wa'dil Amin. As-Sadiqul Wa'd means the one who was absolutely truthful. Al-Amin, the most trustworthy. They regarded him definitely as the most trustworthy person, even to the extent that when they decided on Ma'adallah, on assassinating him, then too they kept their amanat with him. To that extent, he was trustworthy in their eyes. Nevertheless, Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he entered, now he realized the tension in that situation. Look at the hikmat and the wisdom, the diplomacy and the tact. Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, see, all the leaders that are present here, all the tribes, appoint one leader and take this Hajr Aswad and place it on a sheet, and every leader will hold one part of the sheet, and they will carry it to the place where it is to be affixed to the Baytullah. And when they carried it, Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took it with his own Mubarak hands and affixed it, and everyone was pleased and happy with the decision. Everybody felt honored that we also had a share in placing the Hajr Aswad. Nobody's heart was broken. So here again we find the hikmat, the diplomacy, the tact, the wisdom of Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Not to break anybody's heart, because now if he said, I'm going to this one's house, the people would have felt, oh, why were we deprived? At this point in time, my dear friends, I want to say, let us ask ourselves a question, that if we were given the opportunity to host Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in our home, is our home worthy of hosting Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Or we will feel embarrassed, that how am I going to call Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to my house when I got so many things that are against Islam, against Deen and against the Shariat in this house of mine? How will I be able to, how will my Nabi feel comfortable with all of these things? So it's something for us to think about. Like that also, when we present ourselves before Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we also should think that, am I really worthy of standing here? How can I present myself with a straight face when I know how rotten I am from inside and outside? So it should give us an encouragement to reform and change. Coming to Madinah Munawwara is not just for the sake of barakat and sawab, but it is also for the purposes of reformation and change. That if we are deficient in our outward aspect of Islam, in practicing the outward teachings of Deen, in our appearance, in our dressing and all of these things, if we are deficient in our amal, if we are deficient in our akhlaq, our coming to Medina is to bring about that reformation and change. Hazrat Maulana Yunus Patel Sahab, Rahmatullah alayhi, Summa Rahmatullah alayhi, beautiful majalis, beautiful nasihat, beautiful advisors. I recall once Hazrat mentioned in his majlis that why does it happen that people come over and over to Medina? What is the reason that they come in so many times? And then Hazrat mentioned that it is like a person who sat for the exam and failed the paper. So the examiner was very kind and said, all right, you failed, come and write the subs. Write your subs now. Come, give one more chance. You failed this one time, all right, we give you another chance. So like that, our coming to Medina every time is like Allah Ta'ala is giving us an opportunity to write our subs so that we can get through, at least one day we can get through our exam, and then we can be true ummatis that we're supposed to be. Allah Ta'ala make it that our coming to Medina must be with that fervor and that spirit, inshaAllah Ta'ala. So, nevertheless, Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to Madinah Munawwara, as I explained now, that he arrived and he said, leave the camel. Don't pull it. Don't lead it in any direction. And the camel meandered through the streets of Medina, through the alleys and little side roads and pathways of Medina. And everybody is following the camel and waiting with bated breath to see where this camel is going to stop and who's going to be given that honor. And that camel walked and walked and walked and walked. Remember that time Madinah Munawwara was constructed of narrow little streets, little cobbled streets, small narrow little gullies, alleys. There were not big wide roads like we see today. And that is how that camel went through, and finally it came to one little opening. There was a little opening, an open piece of ground, and there was a house next to that open piece of ground, and the camel went and sat down there, and lo and behold, that was the house of Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala. He was that fortunate person that Allah chose him to be the host of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed in his house for 7 months. 7 months. 7 months he had the honor of being the host, and Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the guest. We could have said, Abu Ayyub Ansari, you are through, you are away. Who could have had such an honor? But they never took these things for granted. With all that, their sacrifice and striving carried on. The same Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu, his qabr is not in Jannatul Baqi. Where is his qabr? His qabr is on the it is in the, on the outskirts of Istanbul, in Turkey. In Istanbul, that qabr of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu is there. If we ever go to visit Istanbul, we should make a point of going there. The Turks revere this place very much. Now when the president won the election, the first thing that he did after he won the election, he went there to the masjid of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and perhaps he read few rakats of Salatul Shukr, and he made tilawat of Quran there. That they, up till today, they have that great reverence. That whole area, that vicinity, locality is known as Ayyub Sultan. They refer to him as Ayyub Sultan, Ayyub the Sultan, the king. And that was that Sahabi of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He didn't rest on his laurels to say, well, I am away because I had this honor. The whole ummah will remember me till the day of Qiyamah as the host of Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He made wasiyat even when he was striving till old age. Past the age of 90, Abu Ayyub Ansari was making jihad in the path of Allah. And he passed away and he made wasiyat that carry my dead body in the path of Allah. So I can say to Allah Ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah that not only did I travel in your path whilst I was alive, O Allah, but even after my death, my body traveled in your path. And they took him and buried him on the outskirts of Istanbul, and his qabr is well known there. So that is how Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam settled down in Madinah Munawwara. My dear friends, this is a beautiful history. What Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam did after he settled in Medina. Many a times we only focus on some of the more well-known things. But there are many, many things Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Amazing things that are lessons for us, some lot of guidance for us we will find in the kind of things that Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam did when he entered the city of Madinah, in the few months that he was here, in the beginning, the year that he spent in Madinah Shareef. But inshallah we will leave that for as we progress day after day. I will try to touch on various aspects of the history of Medina in the light of the Seerah and the biography of Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah Ta'ala grant us tawfiq that we really appreciate and value this Mubarak city. We understand the rich history of the city. We think of the big, big sacrifices that were made and the model that was set up in Medina, the model state. That model has to be exported to every part of the world. If every community and every society of Muslims, whether we're living as a majority Muslim community or a minority Muslim community in any part of the world, we should try to emulate the model of the city of Medina in the time of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the model of Masjid Nabawi Sharif in the time of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then inshallah ta'ala we will see at least some of the barakat and blessings that was witnessed by the people of Medina in the era of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa lana make dua. Recite Durood Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya Allah, grant us maghfirat. Ya Allah, grant us forgiveness. Ya Allah, accept our haziri and our presence in the city of Madinah Munawwara. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, how many opportunities out of your mercy you have granted us. Ya Allah, we have not changed, we have not reformed, we have not, Ya Allah, rectified. Ya Allah, we are still carrying on our weak ways, Ya Allah, with all the deficiencies, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, for how long, Ya Allah, this life of ghaflat is going to carry on. Ya Allah, we sincerely make tawbah and repent from this life of ghaflat, and we beseech you, Ya Allah, now through the barakat of Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Allah, reform us, Ya Allah, make our complete islah, Ya Allah, change our ways, Ya Allah. Bring us back onto Sirat al-Mustaqim, onto the path of your raza and pleasure, onto the ways of sunnah of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in every aspect of our lives, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, in our amal zahira, in our amal batina, in our akhlaq, Ya Allah, in our outlook, in our mentality, Ya Allah, in our attitude, Ya Allah, imbue us, Ya Allah, with the spirit of the sunnah of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, grant us the ishq of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything that is associated with Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the family and the Ahl Bayt, the family of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companions of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, the city of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, all the landmarks of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the glorious history and the seerat of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the glorious sunnah and the way of life of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Make all of these things, Ya Allah, most beloved to us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us the tawfiq to immerse ourselves in these things, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, imbue us, Ya Allah, with the true ishq of Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to such an extent, Ya Allah, that it dominates the love of everything else, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Allah, and make it the zariya and means of our najat in the akhirat, Ya Allah. Make it the zariya and means, Ya Allah, of drawing us close to our Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam the day of Qiyamah. Ya Allah, imbue us with taqwa and piety of such a level that we become worthy of that glad tiding that our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, inna awla nasi bi yawm al-qiyamati al-muttaqun man kanu wa haythu kanu. The closest people to me on the day of Qiyamah will be the people of taqwa, whoever they may have been and wherever they may have been. We may be living far away from Medina, O my Allah, but imbue us with that taqwa, that, Ya Allah, we become close, and amongst the closest to our Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of Qiyamah. Ya Allah, so that we find him wherever he has promised that he will be found by his ummah. When it is the time of Hawz Kawthar, grant us to drink from his Mubarak hand in such a manner that he is pleased and happy with us, and we are not chased away because of our misdeeds. Ya Allah, do not let our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam turn his Mubarak face away from us on the day of Qiyamah because of our misdemeanors and our misdeeds. Before that, Ya Allah, grant us tawfiq to make tawbah and repent, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us tawfiq to make tawbah and repent, Ya Allah. Before, Ya Allah, such a calamity may befall us, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Let it be that He is absolutely happy and pleased with us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, at the crucial moments on the day of Qiyamah, Ya Allah, grant us the shafa'at and the intercession of our beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not deprive us, Ya Allah, of His shafa'at and intercession, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Allahumma hshurna fi zumrati Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wasta'milna bi sunnati wa tawaffana ala millati waj'alna min hizbihi ma rufaqaihi min an-nabiyyin was-salihin. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Allahumma ij'al nabiyyana lana farata wa hawdahu lana mawrida. Allahumma kama amanna bihi wa lam narahu فَلَا تَحْرِمْنَا فِي الْجِنَانِ رُؤْيَتَهُ. Ya Allah, He called us and He referred to us as His brothers. He said, "Oh my companions, you are my companions, but my brothers are the ones I desire to meet." They said, "Who are your brothers?" He said, "Those who believe, who come after me and believe me and desire to meet me, they are my brothers." Ya Allah, we can, Ya Allah, undeserving ones, our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has shown so much of shafqat and compassion for us. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, give us the tawfiq to reciprocate, Ya Allah, His love and compassion for His ummah. He was, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. He was extremely loving and compassionate towards the believers, towards His ummah. Ya Allah, grant us the tawfiq, Ya Allah, in our small ways to reciprocate it, Ya Allah, by offering salam upon him, Ya Allah, with humility, Ya Allah, and with love and reverence, Ya Allah, and reciting Durood Sharif upon him in great abundance, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, and following his sunnah and striving for the upliftment of his deed. Ya Allah, accept our presence in Madinah Munawwara. Bring us again and again with qubuliyat, Ya Allah, and with improvement every time, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Ya Allah, grant us all Maqbool Umrah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Accept the hazri of everyone, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. All the ummatis from every part of the world and every country and continent that are present here, or who are present in the past or who will be present in the future. Do not deprive anyone. Grant everybody the full share of the barakat, the anwarat, the fuyuzat, the khairat of this beautiful city of Madinah Munawwara. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.